Welcome back, Spartans. So this is part 2 with the HTML and basic HTML and CSS. This video will focus on dividing our HTML pages, well, the index anyway, with our div tags. Okay, and so I'm going to do that right now. Let me open up my linking pages first. I'm going to show the index, and again, this is just basic stuff. Now, they do link. We did that during the first video. I have not yet added these 3 pages to the others. That can come later. The one we're going to be working on is the index. Okay. Now, we're going to start with the body. Get your cursor right after the body tag, and we're going to start with a div tag. And let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay. And we'll give it an ID selector and we'll call it a wrapper. So the wrapper will wrap or contain all of the other divs. Okay, and what we need to do is close that div. Okay, remember ID. This is an attribute, and wrapper is a value. So the structure should be familiar, right? Now, if I come down here, I'm going to locate the ending body tag, and I'm going to hit the return key so I can give myself some space, and I will close up that div tag. Okay? Now, if I save it and refresh over here, we're not going to see anything, right? Nothing at all. Okay? So this video will not show any changes in our HTML, but we need these div tags because when we go to CSS, we're going to make rules for all these different ID selectors. Okay, so this part 2 video is just setting up the divs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add another div tag right below the wrapper, and this one's going to be called header. Okay, and the header in most websites just give the website a name, and the name of this one will just be simply the name of your website. So close your header div, and we'll put right here maybe an H1 tag. Okay, and put your name. I'll just use my standard Dude Jones website. And I know that's not terribly creative, but we'll just stick with that. Okay? So I'm going to save it. Now we do have some placeholder text, so we will see where the header is going to be. Okay? So it does matter where you put these dividers. Right? It's very important that they're in the right order. Now, something that you need to get in the habit of, and I would like you to do this, is put a comment, because you're going to lose track. This is where my header is. Okay? It's just a simple statement. Don't forget to make that comment so you know where you are. And then you'll even want to show where the end of it is. This is the end of my header. Okay? Trust me, it helps. It's a good habit to have. Okay, so now, so below the header now will be our navigation. Now I'm gonna take this H1, welcome to my website. I'm gonna cut it, so I'm gonna do Control. Well, I'm gonna do Command because I'm using a Mac, but you're gonna do Control X to cut, and I would like you to bring it down below the last unordered list tag you have here, and I'm going to paste it there. Okay, because this unordered list, this whole entire list that links all your pages, these are going to become buttons And these buttons need to be in the navigation, because that's what buttons are. They're navigational features, we'll say. Okay? So I'm going to make a comment. This is my navigation. Okay? Okay? And this is where our new div starts. Okay? Remember, div is short for divider. And this ID is going to be called nav. You could put nav bar. We'll put nav bar. I think in another class I put nav. It doesn't matter what it's called, just as long as it describes what it's doing. Okay? And so then I'm going to close this nav bar div all the way down here. You got to locate the last UL tag. And so I'm going to push welcome down. I'm going to push it down and put it right here. Give yourself some room. So close up that div and then make a comment. The comment is, this is the end of my navigation. Okay? And then double dash and closing angle. Okay. Remember to do that, or but see, look right here. I didn't do the double dash. Okay. You'll know if you're doing it wrong because it won't change that color. That's why these text editors are so good. The ones that have color. Okay. So we've got the navigation. And let's see, did I save it? Save. Let's refresh. Okay, so you see what I did? I put welcome to my website below this because this is going to be where my navigation is. So you got the header, the navigation, and what typically goes here is the sort of the meat of your website. And so we're going to call this one, bring it down here and make a comment. This is my content. So that's what we're going to call the div. We'll call it content. So let's go ahead and make a div for that ID class or ID selector and call it content. Close the angle. And then down here, down here will be the closing div. And I'll make a comment. This, double dash, this is the end of my content. Okay, double dash, angle, and then I didn't do this, double dash, is the end of my wrapper. Okay, remember wrapper is just another name for container. Some people like to call their div tags, their div IDs containers. Wrapper is also very common. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, now there's no style yet, and so we're going to do that in the next video, unless I have time for this one. So let me see. Yeah, I have time, so I'm going to go ahead and add some CSS to this. And what we can do is make our style sheet. So let me just check. Let's see, I've got my div wrapper, my header, close that header. Here's my nav bar, close that nav bar, and then I've got content. And I close the content right here, close the wrapper right here. Okay? Alright. So what I'm going to do is go to my title here, get my cursor right there, and give myself some space. Okay? This is where our CSS link tag is going to go. But first, I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to New File, and then I'm going to Save As, and I'm going to make sure it's going into my linking page as it is. Very, very important. And you're going to call this style.css. And so we're going to save it. There it is. And we're going to go ahead and make sure this CSS is attached to index. This is how you do it. So we're going to start with a link tag. Remember, it's between the head tags, right? Link. And we'll do a rel equals, so that's an attribute, style sheet. And then move the cursor over. And this one's going to be type equals in quotes, always, right? Values will always be in quotes. And it's going to be text/CSS. And then finally, it's going to have an href equals in the name of your CSS page. We called it style. And then you're going to close that angle bracket. Save it. Now they're linked together, but we don't have any rules yet. So let's set up our first rule. And we'll give it a body tag reference. And you're going to do a curly bracket. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to give our body a background color. But we're going to give it a background gradient. So it's going to be linear dash gradient. You're going to like this one. And then in quotes, you're going to choose 2 colors. You can go up to 3 or 4 colors, but let's just start with 2 colors. So I'm going to do yellow, excuse me, comma, and then you choose your own colors. I'm going to do pink. And then make sure you have a semicolon after that. Okay, now this doesn't look right, so I'm going to check this for now. Let's see what it looks like. Save. See if it worked. It didn't work. So this is a clue right here. So I'll be right back. Okay. You know what I did? I had an extra semicolon here. So take out that extra semicolon. And you can see the result. That's our first CSS applied to our website. And if you don't see this and you think the typing is correct, make sure you have this one set up correctly. Okay, so any single character can affect and make this not even work. You also have to make sure you have your folder, right? You got all those pages inside that folder. Very, very important. If it's not in that folder, it's not going to work. Okay, now we've got this sort of stripy effect, so we're going to tweak this a little bit because it's not done. So let's go over here and add in background, spell it correctly, hyphen, repeat, because you can see that it's repeating itself, and we don't want that, so we're going to do no repeat, right? And save, and let's refresh. And of course, it doesn't repeat, but you have all this white below, so we're going to get rid of that as well. And we'll do that with, oops, got rid of my semicolon, don't do that. This is going to be background, attachment, and fixed. Save it. Let's check it out. And there you go. Looks good. Nice clean gradient. Don't overdo it with those colors now. I chose some really light colors. Now let's add one more, just for argument's sake. I'll probably get rid of it, but just let's see what it looks like. So I save it and refresh, and that's not all that terrible. I think I'll keep it. Okay, so this will conclude our second video, adding the divs, the structure, more structure for our HTML, and then starting off with our CSS, just detailing the body a little bit. And then we're going to continue video 3 and work on the rest of the CSS. Hopefully we can get that out in one more video. Okay? Stay tuned. Hope it's helping, and we'll get video 3 going pretty soon. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching.